the Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock, this is Capitol View.
And welcome into Capitol View. You know, it was Valentine's Day this past week, so we brought some guys from the right and the left here.
You can feel the love here this morning. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely here. Good friends of the show here, Bill Vickery, Michael John Gray with the Democrat Party. Guys, let's dive into it here. Let's get to the national look at things here. We've had two big elections so far here for the Democratic primaries and the Iowa caucuses. Is this kind of where we thought things would be? I mean, Biden and Warren were kind of some of the heavy hitters coming into this thing. Now it's like, we're kind of questioning them as it is.
New Hampshire and Iowa are both so small, really not representative of the whole country.
Sure.
I think people looked at it and said, Bernie's been running for president for over 4 years now, and in Iowa with the organization. I don't think that Bernie being at the top surprised anyone that was paying attention. Elizabeth Warren and Biden's numbers being lower, they're appealing to a slightly different crowd than certainly Iowa, so we'll see what it looks like going forward. But that is a little bit of a surprise to see them that far down.
It is interesting. Listen, Republicans, we went through this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
If you remember, it was a bruising primary, a number of high-profile Republicans, and it was a long primary strung out over a long time. And so Ted Cruz won in Iowa, then you go to New Hampshire where Trump wins, and then Nevada, interestingly enough, played a big pivot role at that point in time, and I think it can too. It is a caucus state for the Democrats as well, but you sort of get the feeling all the kinks have been worked out relative to that. Yes, but I think it's similar to what happened on the Republican side 4 years ago. So the difference, I think, could be is that Republicans coalesced together behind Donald Trump at the very end of the day, and I think you saw what happened. If these sort of bruises linger through into November, then I think it makes it difficult for the Democratic Party to coalesce and could be fractured, and that advantage the president there.
Now, does this almost play into Bernie's favor? It kind of seems like Bernie's got his core of people. He's kind of got some of that younger voter demographic.
I don't know if you go that far, Jay. He wins New Hampshire in 16 with 50+%. He only gets 20-something%, right at 30 this time.
But granted, there's a lot more in the field too.
I don't think that. I just think we're seeing the early states play out like we thought the early states would play out. Bill's absolutely right. The odds-on favorite was Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio. So. We've got a long time to November, a long time to coalesce here. Hopefully it moves a little faster, but hey, the rest of the country getting a choice instead of the nominee already being picked, there's nothing wrong with that.
It is interesting. You watch, Biden, I think, by getting in the race early, Joe Biden was forced to go to Iowa, was forced to go to New Hampshire. That always sort of diminished his strength. He's a national candidate. He needed to be on a stage like a Super Tuesday when you've got a lot of states that play, California et al. That plays more to his strengths. I think he's trying to weather the early rounds here, whereas sort of organization and niche candidates like a Sanders can come in and do well early on. What it does do, though, for Bernie Sanders is it begins to pile up election night grand speeches, and that pays a dividend for him once you roll into a state like a Super Tuesday, March the 3rd, where Arkansas participates, big night. The real loser there, though, is Elizabeth Warren, who suffers because I think all those folks begin to coalesce behind Sanders.
Do we think she's in trouble?
Well, the media is quick to write her off, but I'll say the same. We saw two small states, small sample. It depends on how the media treats some of these candidates, how you shape public opinion. I don't think her organization thinks she's done. We've seen a big movement here in Arkansas from the Warren campaign in the last few days. She's not done. We'll see what happens.
All right. You mentioned the Warren campaign. Talk Business Politics throwing out their polls this past week here. Throw the numbers up there for us, guys, just so we can kind of take a look at those. And it's some interesting. Michael Bloomberg, you've seen a lot of ads here for him, so obviously no surprise to see him at the top. Maybe closer to that 20%. I was a little surprised at that. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and then Mayor Pete also there, and that's kind of your top four. You don't see Elizabeth Warren. Tom Steyer was doing well in kind of some choice states. He was polling okay here in Arkansas with some of the national polls here. But what do we make of that top four there here, at least in Arkansas?
Looking at it from an outsider's perspective, I mean, money talks. You know,
Obviously.
money talks. I mean, Michael Bloomberg spending a lot of money and has been here twice. So,
yeah.
Again, as a Republican looking at it from the outside, you know, Arkansas meant something to Bloomberg. He was here early, then he came back. I did a sort of quaint. He's plopped down there. He's the former mayor of New York, high-profile, multi-billionaire, and he's sitting next to some guy who's filing for state representative. Right. You know, I mean, that's democracy in action. But yeah, money talks.
You had to think that before the Bloomberg in the race, this was a default Biden state. I think those numbers show it, that at least half of what's polling for Bloomberg probably would have been in the Biden column. What's interesting to see is absolutely Arkansas, we all have a chip on our shoulder. We all feel like we're left out. So if you come here, you pay attention. He came, he walked a long, long Martin Luther King Day parade with everyone. But even more interesting is that poll was done before the New Hampshire debate and before the New Hampshire primary. So you've got to look and say, where would Amy Klobuchar have fallen in Arkansas? There's some pockets out there. There are a lot that would say, and I tend to agree with them, that she's not getting the look she should get. And if she was a man, she probably would. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Plus, Frank Scott Jr., Mayor Little Rock, kind of throwing his endorsement out there.
That also came after the poll, though, which is really interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how those numbers are affected even with that in there.
Yeah. But you know, to the mayor's credit, to the mayor here, to his credit, Michael Bloomberg is the one guy who showed up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and asked him for his support. Yeah. So again, it's hard to deny Mayor Bloomberg support inside the Democratic Party here, because the man's been here and he's spending money here. So.
Can't go wrong with that. Mayor's there. They're sticking together here. Quickly here, before we run out of time here, District 34.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Boy, that is something else. You know, we're into the runoffs, and now we've got a tie in this runoff. And now it's just, we're kind of playing through the process. I guess, Michael John Gray, where are we at in the process? And give me worst case scenario, what happens if, you know, some of the other ballots that come in and we're still tied?
So I think congratulations to both of them for getting out and doing the work. But the real sad thing about all this is there's 16,000 registered voters in that district, and we've got a tie with a little over
372, I believe.
Right, a little over 700 voters. So it's a real problem there. There's no worst case. If you've got 10 days from the election to allow the military ballots to come in, and if there's still a tie after that, then there's a convention process that the Pulaski County Democratic Party will go through, and we'll have to do it in pretty quick fashion. And we'll get a nominee. And what's really interesting is this is just the nominee to fill the remainder of the term. And then there, on the general election ballot in November will be for the new 2-year term. So it's a funny little thing here in a small district in Little Rock.
Absolutely. And obviously, too, you still got the election. You have an independent candidate out there waiting in the wings, too, as part of this. And then, you know, we just do it all over again.
Can I say this again as a Republican looking from the outside in? One, it just shows you every vote counts.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Florida in 2000. I mean, you get down really into the weeds and you realize that literally every vote counts in this race. But I appreciate the fact that we've got these votes coming in from overseas to folks who serve in the military, and they're weighing in on the whole process. So I don't know. There's a little bit of this that while it is interesting and kind of humorous to look and say a dead tie, how often does that happen? On the other hand, it is the democratic process. That's what makes America so great, is that everybody that showed up and voted had an impact in this race. And I just think it says a lot about democracy in the state and the way the two candidates have handled it.
Yeah, they've been great throughout the whole process here. So should be fun to watch that one unfold. We'll probably have you back in once we figure that out. It's like the Iowa caucuses all over again, except it's
it's a lot better. This is a lot more efficient. This is not. What happened up there? I'm still not sure. They're still counting.
They're still counting votes.
They're still counting. This is why you don't depend on apps here.
Exactly.
Absolutely here.
Exactly.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you, and you guys are welcome here anytime.
Yes.
Jay,
thank you.
You bet, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, we've got more coming up on Capitol View. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
Everyday low prices at FFO Home. 3-piece bedroom group, only $448. Add a touch of class with our designer 3-piece group with dresser, mirror, and bed for only $998. 0% financing too. President's Day values every day at FFO Home.
This is John Doss with Thomas Blackman Realty. On Friday, February 21st at 10 a.m., we will be selling 3 individual tracts in the Mountain View area. Tract 1 is 80 acres and just off State Highway 110 near Old Lexington, Arkansas. Tract 2 and 3 are 160 acres and 80 acres. These recreational properties are remote and loaded with timber with available utilities and have endless opportunities for deer and turkey hunting, as well as lots of space for camping, hiking, and exploring with the kids. Contact Michael 501-352-4709 or go to blackmanauctions.com for more. Better auctions or Blackman Auctions.
President's Day sale at Family Leisure. Huge savings on massage chairs, pool tables, spas, and more.
He's been a leader throughout the country for the past 12 years. Mr. Michael Bloomberg is here.
Leadership in action. Mayor Bloomberg and President Obama worked together in the fight for gun safety laws, to improve education, and to develop innovative ways to help teens gain the skills needed to find good jobs.
At a time when Washington is divided in old ideological battles, he shows us what can be achieved when we bring people together to seek pragmatic solutions.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
My name is Daphne Boyd, and on April the 1st, 2013, my son Xavier Woods was shot and killed. Help Arkansas declare victory over violence.
Count on KRK4 News, local news that matters.
Everyday low prices at FFO Home. Our rocker recliner is a value for only $198. Sink into our comfy scoop seat rocker recliner for just $398. 0% financing, and you can take it home today. President's Day values every day at FFO Home.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back into Capitol View. The coronavirus, a hot topic across the world and right here in the U.S. as well. And here to talk about it is the Arkansas Department of Health Medical Director for Immunizations and Outbreak Response, Dr. Jennifer Dillahay. We are so excited to have you on the show here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Let's get to it here. Coronavirus. Let's just kind of say, what exactly is the coronavirus?
Well, you know, there's a large family of viruses called coronaviruses. And we have 4 that have been circulating in the U.S. and around the world for a long time, and they cause the common cold. Okay. The one that we're concerned about that's causing the epidemic in China is a new coronavirus. It was apparently circulating in animals, not in humans, and it underwent a change, a mutation of some sort, so that it could infect humans. So it's a new virus for humans.
Okay, so how worried should people be? Because when you think of, you know, oh, it's just kind of a different version of the common cold, but this one kind of means business.
Yes, so we are concerned about the possible circulation of this novel coronavirus. It's now been called COVID-19, that it would cause this disease, COVID-19, in the U.S. We've only had 15 identified cases so far, but the public health officials, both nationally and in states around the country, are watching it very closely because we don't want it to get a foothold in the United States. We don't know if we can keep it from doing that, but at least we want to slow it down as much as possible.
Sure, because I'm seeing here China was reporting 254 new deaths, and they even had a 15,000 one-day spike in cases over there. So just from what you've seen, I mean, is this an aggressive type, or is it just, like you said, common cold kind of gets passed around, but whether or not it really affects folks?
Well, let me talk about that spike. Sure. One reason it had such a large spike is because they changed their case definition. So they were just counting the cases that were confirmed by laboratory tests. But now they're also counting those that meet a clinical definition. It's a clinical diagnosis, even if they haven't had the laboratory test to confirm it. So that increases. So probably well over 65,000 cases in China. And so now what we're doing is trying to learn as much as we can about this new COVID-19 disease. And it appears that it can have a range from mild disease, where people can stay at home and don't need to be hospitalized, to very severe disease, and people may die from it.
Wow. So people just kind of react differently to it, is what we've seen so far.
Yes, it appears that the people who have the hardest time handling this infection are older folks, people over age 50 or 60, and then people who already have some kind of underlying illness, some chronic condition.
Right. All right, kind of switching gears here. Let's get into flu, because this has just felt like a rough flu season. We've seen, several school districts in the state close. We, here at the station, we've even had a couple of cases come through here. Is this an abnormal case, or do we just seem to be paying attention to it a little better?
Well, it might be a little bit of both.
There you go.
Okay, so we are having widespread flu around the state, and we're seeing a lot of cases. So where we do see it, we're seeing a lot of cases, so the flu intensity is high.
Right.
And so what that means to us is that we've got a lot of virus in circulation.
Sure.
But we haven't seen high spikes in hospitalizations or deaths like we have in other seasons. And the reason for that may be that the predominant virus up till now has been influenza B, the Victoria lineage. And we know that influenza B tends to produce milder illness, so you have a lot of sick people, but not a lot of people dying from it or having to be hospitalized. Although we've had over 700 hospitalizations so far this year, so it's nothing to sneeze at, pardon the pun, but one of the concerns now is that we're seeing a spike in influenza A. So we've had a lot of influenza A, H1N1 up till now, a little bit less than the B, but now we're seeing a spike of the influenza A, H1N1 nationally. And we know that one can make people very sick.
Sure.
And kind of what's unique to that, or special to that virus, is that it tends to have a detrimental effect on younger adults. The H3N2, which we have seen in previous couple of seasons, was very hard on our older adults, the elderly. We had very high rates of death in that group, and not so many in the younger adults. But the H1N1 tends to more severely affect younger adults, so we're very concerned about it right now.
Absolutely. And quickly here, before we run out of time here, what's the reasoning that we kind of see sort of the shift in which strains or which types kind of bounce up, and why do we also see those spikes?
Well, we see flu in the wintertime because school children are really good transmitters of flu.
And my kids especially.
We do see flu cases all year long, but they spike when school's in session. And then flu viruses can mutate, they shift so that the human population hasn't seen it before, is less likely to be immune, and then they would catch it and spread it. And then, of course, we have a vaccine, fortunately, for flu. But the flu vaccine is not 100% effective. In fact, in a good year, it's about 50% effective in completely preventing the flu. The real value of the flu vaccine is that it gives your body, its immune system, enough of a head start that it can keep you out of the hospital or keep you from dying from the flu if you do get it. That's the real value of the vaccine. And I still encourage people, even at this time of year, to get vaccinated if they haven't been vaccinated already, because we're still in the midst of it. We haven't peaked yet. We're going to see a lot of flu still for the next several weeks.
All right, so get your flu shots, take all the other precautions as well, and all that kind of good stuff here. Dr. Dillahay, we appreciate you coming on here. Kind of a nice little PSA here as well, and keep people up to date here. We'll have you back on maybe when we get through the peak. Hopefully we'll all make it through here without getting it or anything. But we appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much.
All right,
Glad to be here.
Absolutely here. We've got more coming up here. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
As a waitress, you're running all over the place. Well, if you have a 4 or 6 hour shift and you're in pain the whole time, that seems like an eternity. I was just aching. My feet were throbbing. I was just genuinely hurting. I kind of lost hope. And then I saw the Good Feet store and I decided to stop in. When I went in there, that's when everything changed. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Whether your beauty routine is 3 steps or 57, make Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails Step 1. It's the #1 brand uniquely formulated for silky hair, glowing skin, and healthy nails. Nature's Bounty, because you're better off healthy.
Are you sleeping in plastic bags and a lip mask? My skin is so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe's night treatment.
Get visible results in 1 night and guaranteed relief. Available in O'Keeffe's Working Hands, Healthy Feet, and Lip Repair.
Having dental pain? You need to call the professionals at DDS Dentures and Implant Solutions. We offer dentures starting at $4.95. Call to make your appointment today.
Go show the world your beautiful smile.
It's our President's Day sale at Family Leisure.
Theater seating and massage chairs are priced to move. Pool tables only $14.99 installed. New model spas, 20% off. Also on sale now, pools, patio furniture, swing sets, and more. President's Day sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Come and enjoy a new experience in shopping for your home. At Aladdin Rugs and Home Decor, we have over 5,000 rugs in the latest colors and styles. Bring your pillows, your pillow shams, and sizes. We will help you select the perfect rug. We're #1 in customer service with 15,000 square feet of rugs, unique home decor, wallpaper, and flooring. Remember, buy today, take it home today, and save. Why wait?
My name is John, and I'm a retired veteran. Years ago, I suffered a back injury that left me partially paralyzed. Emergency surgery fixed that, but it didn't stop the pain. I needed help, and Arkansas Spine and Pain was there. They treated me like a person, not just a patient. I needed actual relief, and they knew it. I remember waking up one day not in pain. It was the first time in years. I couldn't remember the last time I didn't hurt. So I just laid in bed for a few more minutes and soaked it all in. Arkansas Spine and Pain, they helped me get my life back ASAP.
Watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back to Capitol View. Congress could be the new referee for college sports. California already passed a law that says NCAA players can make endorsements or merchandise without risking their scholarships or eligibility. And dozens of other states could follow in its lead. Jesse Tunor reports on the debate in Washington Tuesday over a federal standard.
The NCAA is late to this game.
Senator Richard Blumenthal says the NCAA, which makes about $1 billion a year, has dropped the ball and should be compensating student athletes.
The present state of college sports is exploitive.
To make the NCAA act faster, Blumenthal wants more states to pass laws like California's, allowing athletes to profit off their names, images, and likenesses. Ramogi Huma with the National College Players Association is behind many of these proposals.
College athletes shouldn't be forced to sacrifice their economic freedom and rights.
Huma told a Senate committee Tuesday it's a job the states can handle. But NCAA President Mark Emmert wants a uniform standard.
Different laws from various states will create an uneven and unfair playing field for our schools and student athletes.
The NCAA's 3 divisions house more than 1,000 schools and nearly 500,000 student athletes. Members of Congress are working on multiple ways to develop federal legislation, including former Ohio State football player Congressman Anthony Gonzalez.
An award-winning, full scholarship chemist can accept any financial rewards that may come her way, but the fastest runner on the track team cannot.
But athletic conferences,
college sports is not a vocation,
and senators
to make sure that no one is left out
still haven't settled on the right solution, as the NCAA's biggest moneymaker, March Madness, is sure to bring even more attention to the issue. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
California's law won't take effect for 3 more years, but Florida could implement a similar one in July. The NCAA gave itself a 2021 deadline for new rules, and it wants the states to respect that. Well, we are back to wrap it up after this. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
The most exciting words to hear. Let's go.
Camping.
Let's go. Vacation. Let's go. Anywhere. Let's go. So let's go to Kiko's Country RV in Sherwood, Mayflower, and soon Cabot. Kiko's Country RV. Let's go.
You've heard the buzz and made them streaming obsessions. Oh, please.
All right.
Tonight, 2 of television's hottest shows. Do you know who I am? Come together, because Obsessed starts here.
People are singing to me. Guess we're back in business.
Tonight, Obsessed starts here.
whatever we want. It all starts tonight on NBC.
The most exciting words to hear. Let's go. Camping. Let's go. Vacation. Let's go. Anywhere. Let's go. So let's go to Kiko's Country RV in Sherwood, Mayflower, and soon Cabot. Kiko's Country RV. Let's go.
We're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
On Friday, people from around the state celebrated the beloved tradition, the hashtag ARLedge Valentines. It was started 7 years ago by a good friend of the show, Andrew DeMillo with the Associated Press. Here's a quick look at some of our favorite Valentines from the Arkansas legislature. Court Lanning tweets, "Our love will expand like rural broadband access in Arkansas." There's a lot to be said there. Ken Yang tweets, "I thought I needed your love medically to survive, but now I want it recreationally." Just leave it there. Megan Godfrey adds, "Leave it behind, start a new life with me. You're authorized, baby. Be my refugee." Oh, Megan Godfrey. And then Andrew Collins, "I'm in a bad romance that still needs defining. She cuts me off, wears me out, so undermining. She swears that she owns me and leaves me for dead. I guess I'm in love with the State Board of Ed." And from the man himself, Andrew DeMillo, "You're the LRSD to my Arkansas. I'm never letting you go." A lot of tongue-in-cheek there, too. Well, on Monday, we honor President's Day. It was originally started in 1885 to recognize President George Washington. It became known as more of what we know it today in 1971. So we here at Capitol View thought we would do our part by looking back at some of the past presidential visits. In 1880, President Ulysses S. Grant visited Little Rock. There was a parade and a banquet as part of a world tour. Another fun fact, Grant County, formed in 1869, actually named after President Grant, so impress your friends with that. In 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt visited Little Rock immediately after the yellow fever quarantine was lifted. Maybe we could get Trump down here after this coronavirus thing. And in 1910, President Roosevelt spoke from a, quote, human flag stand at the grand opening of the 5th annual Arkansas State Fair. And back then, State Fair was actually held in Hot Springs at Oak Lawn Park. 1949, Sid McMath marched with Harry S. Truman in the 35th Division Reunion Parade in Little Rock, there in Pulaski County. And a President's Ball was also held for the dedication of War Memorial Park, as well as for that reunion. And in 2004, the capital city welcomed several presidents for the dedication of the William Clinton Presidential Center and Park. What a day that was indeed. Lousy weather, too. You see there in the picture, just nasty rain there. Well, that will put a bow on this week's Capitol View. Make sure you listen to the Capitol View podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and we are back with an all-new Capitol View next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.